This is called How the Fight Started. One year a husband decided to buy his mother-in-law a cemetery plot as a Christmas gift. The next year he didn't buy her anything. When she asked him why, he replied, "Well, you still haven't used the gift I bought you last year." That's how the fight started. My wife walked into the lounge and said, "What's on TV?" I replied, "Dust." That's how the fight started. My wife was hinting about what she wanted for the upcoming anniversary. She said, "I want something shiny that goes from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. I bought her a set of bathroom scales. That's how the fight started. I asked my wife, "Where do you want to go for our anniversary?" "Somewhere I haven't been for a long time," she said. So I suggested, "How about the kitchen?" And that's how the fight started. Last night my wife demanded that I take her someplace expensive. So I took her to the petrol station. And that's how the fight started. I tried to talk my wife into buying a case of beer for €15. Instead, she bought a jar of cold cream for €8. I told her the beer would make her better at night than the cold cream. And that's how the fight started. Saturday morning I got dressed early, made my lunch, grabbed the dog and quickly slipped out into the garage. I hooked up the boat to the truck and I proceeded out into a torrential downpour. The wind was blowing a gale, so I pulled back into the garage. I turned on the radio and discovered that the forecast was that weather would be bad all day. So I went back into the house, quietly undressed, slipped into bed, cuddled up to my wife, and I whispered, "The weather out there is terrible." My loving wife of 10 years replied, "Can you believe it? My stupid husband is out there fishing in all that." That's how the fight started. My wife and I were watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire while we were in bed. I turned to her and said, "Do you want to have sex?" "No," she answered. And then I said, "Is that your final answer?" She didn't even look at me. She simply said yes. So then I said, "Well, I'd like to phone a friend." And that's how the fight started. I took my wife to a restaurant. The waiter, for some reason, took my order first. "I'll have the strip steak, medium rare, please." He said, "Aren't you worried about the mad cow?" "No," I said, "she can order for herself." And that's how the fight started. My wife and I were sitting at a table at my high school reunion, and I kept staring at a drunken lady swigging her drink as she sat on a nearby table. My wife asked, "Do you know her?" "Yes," I sighed, "she's my old girlfriend." I understood that she took to drinking right after we broke up those many years ago, and she hasn't been sober since. "My God," said my wife, "you'd think a person would go on celebrating that long?" And that's how the fight started.